Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2, and today my opponent is BackToChar. I kind of like the name. It makes me think of Bend to Hell by Hollywood Undead, which is just an awesome, awesome song. But anyway, this map, or I should say the game, no less, will be on Daybreak LE today, and Char will be spawning as the blue Terran, in the upper quadrant of the map, and I will be spawning as the red Zerg in the lower quadrant. Look at me using syllables and all that other good stuff that everybody wants to know. So, for this game, this is actually kind of a fun game, and this is one of the first games I've played in the first few days. I went up north and did some awesome muskie fishing, which was pretty chill, drank some beers, just hung out, and I very recently got engaged, which I also thought was very cool. But don't worry, that's not going to cut back at all on my StarCrafting time or on anything else that I'm going to do. We've been dating for quite some time now, so she knows that I'm a nerd and seems to be pretty okay with it. But as far as this goes, you're going to see me, and I don't want to give away too much of the game. I don't know what I want to give away to you guys right now, because the first, minute or so of the game, it's just really kind of tough, and I wish I could say, more about the players like they do in some of the other ones. BackToChar, I can tell you that he played in Diamond League during the first season of the game, and looks like he came back in Season 6, so he might be a lot like me, where he was a player where he played pretty heavily when the game first came out, took a break, and now he's back playing some more StarCraft. And before I forget, there we go. Awesome. I'm so cool. I already put my volume down. If we check this out, I'm going to see him putting down a supply depot up here, and then he's running this SCV away. That's going to be a scouting SCV. When we check this out, he actually ran that worker away and let me get off 2 hits before he got his first one. So this SCV right here, if he doesn't get in support, which he's not going to, is actually going to die. And that is just so cool for me. I was able to snag that SCV kill. So when you think about how this economy in the early game breaks down right now, he has one SCV out scouting, he has one SCV building, and then he has, one SCV kind of chasing my scouting drone across the map. And when I see that, he's putting up this kind of persistent effort to kill me, it makes me think that he might try for something sneaky. There's an SCV just kind of waiting here over by my base. He's not trying to stop me with an engineering bay, which I do think is pretty neat. But aside from that, he's definitely watching my timings, and he has to know that I've went expansion first. And if we check this out, he continues to pull SCVs to try to kill my drone, and we can see that I'm doing a decent job at keeping it alive, but it doesn't have a lot of health left. If we check out the APMs, we can see that BackToChar is actually doing a pretty good job keeping his APM around 97 myself, and not so much. I'm kind of lazy, around 54, whatever. I have better things to do, like not look at my monitor or anything like that. Oh, gross, killed him. So sad. Sad face. And my scouting will die, but my overlord over here did get to see this second barracks, and I'm actually going to poke him back up here because I'm like, wait, was that a factory or a barracks? And that's actually very important for me to discern what I want to do now. This SCV is running away, which means that he doesn't necessarily think he can get away with doing any type of 2 racks push, and honestly, it's really too late for any of that. My pool's almost done. I'll have 2 hatcheries worth of production. I'll be able to get queens out, and I guess I really just don't understand the purpose of going for the second barracks so late after the first one has already been produced. This marine is running out, and if we check out the rally point for... Where's it going? Where's it going? Going right down here in front of the Zelnaga. So I'm really not quite too sure what he's planning on doing. He does have 2 gas. So if I were to scout in his base, which I can't see that, I would think, oh god, he's going to be going fast starport, or, something crazy, like maybe into factory Hellions with Blue Flame. And as we can see, the factory is coming down. If we take a look at myself, and at the production tab, I'm producing some lings, because I am afraid that he's going to try, to rush in here with some marines, and realistically, it's just one of those things where I don't want to lose the game to some type of late timing, and we can see that I do have Zerglings coming out, and they're going to be on a crash course with this Marines. Now, if these Marines are microed properly, they could actually kill all of these Zerglings, but as we see, they're just going to stand the ground. They are not being microed, and all of the poor Marines will die. Very good exchange. I'm down 25 minerals, he's down 100, and it's just so cool. I like that kind of stuff. We check this out, double factory play, and I think that it's kind of weird. He got the reactor here, and probably just to do a switch right here, you start getting no double Hellions. And we see a tech lab here. I'm really not quite understanding the full purpose of this build. I understand that's to get a lot of Hellions out, but it just seems like it could be done a little bit quicker. He definitely did not need to get that much gas that quickly unless he plans on going for upgrades, but there just isn't a tech lab out. So I feel that maybe some more minerals could have helped out my Terran opponent. We check out the income right now. I am up 25 over 17. And if we look at the production, after these lings are out, I'm pretty much going to be producing straight workers. I need to get my economy going. We can see I have 5 drones on the way. A Banley nest is coming. And at this point in the game, seeing what I'm seeing here, I do see the Hellions, but at for a second, I was feeling a Bane Lane bust, and I figured I'd give it a shot. These Hellions are going to kind of shut that down because they're going to afford him a lot of map control. I'm going to need out heavier units. But if we see here, I have an Evolution Chamber going down and a Spine Crawler. This makes it very easy to drop your Queen here and pretty much stop any type of Hellion harass or shenanigans that are going off in your base. And I really should be getting, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more Queens, just because Queens do actually very, very good against Hellions. Talon's doing 8 damage per hit, which is really awesome. I don't think Hellions have armor. Nope, they don't have any Terran vehicle plating. They're not smart enough for that. So we do see Blue Flame coming out from the tech lab right here. And my creep spread is starting to get underway. Not the greatest because I do not have a designated creeper at this point, but as we can see, I'm throwing down a Roach Warren, and I'm going to continue to build drones. The thing with this is, even if you're going to take a little bit of Hellion harassment, you can't let that go to your head. You can't think, oh my god, Hellions, I need to make 1,000,000 Lings and 1,000,000 Roaches. You really need to keep droning. You need those drones. And at this point, you can think if he's going to be pushing with Hellions, I can pretty much stop Ling production, build 5 or 6 Roaches, and oh, I'm going to get a lot of kills on those Zerglings, not going to do a lot of damage, maybe tag these guys up a little bit. And just going to have to run back to the base, rely on the Spine Crawler, rely on the Queen. And we do see I have a second Spine Crawler going down, not quite in time. And between the Queen, the Lings, I'm going to be able to move a lot of my workers away. He is getting a few good worker kills, and he's actually going to get these guys right up in the base, but they're taking a lot of damage from the Lings. I have a Queen up here. She's going to be able to help them out, and I'm migrating these guys away, able to fry a few more. This Queen spawns just in the nick of time, blocking those guys. The Zerglings and this extra Queen, oh, that was nasty. That hurt a lot. That was 5 workers right there. So if we check this out and see that he's killed 10 workers to my 1 worker, if we check out the income right here, I'm still ahead of him by quite a bit. So as far as that attack is concerned and the units lost is concerned, I'm still out ahead. I still have more workers than him. And at this point, with my 2 Spine Crawlers down here at the base and my extra Queens, any extra Hellions at this point just really would not do any good, and realistically, I did a very poor job at managing that. I didn't manage my workers properly, and a better player probably would not have lost almost anything to that with the defenses that I had ready. My Scouting Overlord coming in right at about the 9-minute mark, just to check and see what kind of, if there's any type of starport, and at this point, I'm feeling very secure in the game, knowing that he's pretty much just pumping out Hellions and just slowly working on producing, you know, more and more workers. He's just now getting his expansion up. So it's very, very late, and by doing this build, by pushing so heavily, going with the 2 Rex first, hoping to get some Marine pressure out, and then going with so many Hellions and then having it shut down, it just really slows down your entire game. We can see that my creep tumors are going to start to take off, and they're going to start to give me a lot of map control. I have decent Overlord spread, so I'll be fairly confident against any type of shenanigans, but I know what's in his base. I know what type of tech he had. We can see there's a starport going down, but you know, I really don't have to be worried about the lone starport. I do have some Spore Crawlers at my bases. I can make detection at any point if I need to. My lair is almost finished, and we can see I will be getting the quad gas. I have just enough Roaches to defend. I am maneuvering my Spine Crawlers up front, throwing down a second Evolution Chamber, and trying to create a little bit of a swing through here. That way, any units, they kind of have to funnel further around and go right into these spines. There's actually, I can't remember what map it is, I think it's Cloud Kingdom, where you can drop a Evo Chamber and then a Spine Crawler and completely wall off the front of your Zerg base. It is so awesome. It's just really cool. We go over to the income, we can see that I'm up 47 over 24. And because he's taken such, you know, this build has just allowed me to drone and drone heavy, and actually I should be taking a 3rd base. You know, right now there it goes, and I think I actually meant to do it earlier. Yeah, for some reason it got canceled, and I was not able to lay down that base, and that actually slows me down quite a bit, and I'm like, where the hell is my base? So we check this out. I have melee attack level 2, ground armor level 1, and centrifugal hooks coming out along with an infestation pit. I plan to go Ling Infester for the first part of this game, and then transition into Ling Infester Broodlord to end the game with some corruptors in there just for good measure. We can see that he is picking off my changeling. He has so many Hellions, and this is a response to kind of the current, excuse me, that's where he's going. Wow, you suck. This is a response to the current Zerg Terran metagame, where Zerg players are just getting a lot of Zerglings, and we're relying on Zerglings straight up into the mid-game. And with this many Hellions, you gotta think that if they're doing 19 damage per shot to ground units, they just clean up Speedlings. They do so much damage to them. Hellions in themselves are very weak units. They die very quickly, especially to upgraded Zerglings. And if we check this out, he has no upgrades for his units whatsoever, so my upgrades are about to be considerably better than his, and it's going to make my Zerglings very, very deadly, doing, what is that, 7 damage per hit, to these Hellions. If they can get us around, the Hellions are just going to fall. The tanks are coming in. Siege mode looks like it has been researched. We see Stim and Combat Shield coming very late into the game, and I think that's because he built so many Hellions and he spent so much time trying to harass me and not expand that it's just really hurt my opponent. We check this out. My third base is going to be going up and underway, and realistically I should probably consider taking a fourth base, and I'm not making my presence on the map very well found right now. We can see I have very few troops. We check out the army supply. We'll see that the Terran army is quite a bit larger than mine, and I'm relying on my creep spread to kind of give me an inkling as to when he's going to attack. So the biggest thing is I need to be floating larva. We can see I have a macro hatch up and coming, and I have this hatch here, but one mistake that I believe I've made is I do not know... Okay, I have hotkeyed this hatchery, and I know I've messed up on that before, where you don't hotkey a hatchery and then you see I have like 20 larvae sitting there, just screws you over. So I have infestors coming out, and they have their pathogen glands, which is going to give them a lot of energy, and when you have this type of build with this few units, you really need to rely on that fungal growth, and we can see right here, I spot all these Hellions coming in, so I need to very quickly recall these Lings, and that's actually going to allow him to get the command center up. Ah, those Lings were on a direct combat course for that command center. That sucks. So right here, if we check this out, I have 22 Lings on the way and 2 more infestors. I need to be extremely careful here with how I engage this. And he himself also needs to be careful as well, because he could easily fall to this if his Hellions are not out of place. There's just Marauders and a few Marines here, and 2 tanks. And he might have tried to go for some drop play, but right here, this creep is going to be invaluable. I'll be able to see everywhere that he's attacking from. These Hellions are going to come in, and they're just going to fry. Oh, all the Zerglings just almost dying instantly. And the Roaches there are really the only thing left doing any damage. The Zerglings are dead. Infested Terran coming up. Where are the fungal growths? There's so much energy. There we go. The fungals are going to be invaluable at helping clean this up. But right here we can see misclicks abound. I'm not getting these fungals down where I need to, and that's just, oh, that fungal missed. More infested Terran, just really going to be the only thing that's stopping him from completing this attack. But we can see I was able to clean up a better part of these units right here, but the infested Terran just do not quite have the DPS that they need. We can see I'm rallying my units over here. I need them rallying right here, otherwise this hatchery is more than likely going to go down the infested Terran. I need to move you forward. Oh no, lame, dead hatchery. And that attack, you know, it doesn't matter that he lost his entire army, that he has really nothing left after that. The hatchery's down. We can see it's going back up, and you could almost, at that point, call it successful. The units, I mean, the resources lost tab favoring him ever so slightly. You know, that's just one small engagement away from favoring me. And at this point in the game, I've decided that I'm going to rebuild this hatchery, and I'm going to expand as well. My reason for that is I know I've defeated his army, and I know that I've remaxed. We can see I have a decent supply lead, and after seeing the composition of his army, I'm fairly confident that as long as I control my infestors properly, that I can beat him. So we go over to the production tab, we can see that I'm getting Hive Tech, my Spire's on the way, 2 more hatcheries are coming down, my ground level 2 is on its way. My creep spread continues. He did not use any scans to kill creep, and that's something that I would have liked to have seen him do, because that's just going to afford me a lot of map control. These Lings are going to go up here, and they're just going to... Oh, the Planetary Fortress, just murdering everybody. Bastard. Why do you have to be a Planetary Fortress? That's not fair. Just killing everything. Anyway, we can see that there's missile turrets going down now. And kind of interesting with this is, I'm not going to go Mutalisk at all in this game, so every missile turret that he decides to lay is... you know, just minerals wasted on his part, but it's also good for detection in case I try to do, like, Shark Infestors. Shark Infestors are very popular for taking out planetary fortresses, just because you can be like, blah, and have 20 infested Terran right there, and they're so chill. I mean, they're so chill. It's just awesome. Creep spread could be a little bit better, but it's not terrible. You know, if I were pro, I'd probably be like, oh, hey, dude, I'm at your base. And that's pretty awesome. What I really also need to do is take these overlords I have all over here and spread them out at these bases and creep over there. That way, he doesn't... just can't expand at all. I have my queen coming up right over here, right in time for the hatchery to spawn. Need to hotkey all these guys, and I just need to saturate. I need gas, and that's one thing that I just did not have enough of this entire game. And if I take a look at it now, I kept thinking, God, where's all my gas? Well, you have bandlings with you know, their speed upgrade. You have a lot of infestors. You have a decent amount of upgrades going. Look at all the tech you have. You know, you're just getting a lot of gas-heavy stuff. And when you think about it, this hatchery went down, and I'm only mining off of this one right here. So we can see that these were both created at the same time, and this one is 130 gas further along than this one, just because it's been mined a little bit more. We can see that I'm starting to get my gas up and running here, because I'm like, wow, I'm gas-starved. I absolutely need gas units. So we check out this composition. He has Thors mixed in, which are pretty awesome. He's actually getting vehicle armor. He has Marauders mixed in, Marines, tanks, medevacs. This is kind of a multi-purpose dual army. It's a little bit of biomech. and it's a little bit less mobile than... Well, it's actually kind of a mix. You know, this is still a fairly immobile army. Going with tanks and sieging them up does slow you down, but realistically, roaches won't work well against this composition. Ling, Muta, probably not good against this composition with this many Thors and the Marines mixed in. Banelings can easily be absorbed by this, so the only real choice that I have is to go for a Greater Spire, which is one of the coolest buildings in the game, and then build a bunch of Broodlords and just kill them. So what does make me extremely happy is there's not a single Hellion on the field. Maybe if there is, I just can't see it right now. I don't care. And all of these Zerglings are just going to do extremely well. They are very soon hopefully going to be 3-3. They have their crack upgrade, which makes them extremely deadly against all of these units. We check this out. There's barely any upgrades for the Terran at all, and we can see that he does not have any armor upgrades, which is going to make me very, very happy. Now, if we check this out, he's actually leading me by supply, which is very surprising to me, but that's just because I'm gas-starved right now. I just do not have any gas whatsoever. We can see that at this base that I'm sure the Terran would love to take and build a planetary here, he's not going to be able to, which is pretty awesome. We do see a command center coming up over here, and we'll probably see him turn this into a planetary fortress, and I'd actually love to see a wall off here, just like 5 barracks, and then be like, oh hey, guess what, you can't attack there, you have to attack right up in the front of my base. And this is just kind of a scary death ball. Now, there's Hellions mixed in here. These Hellions, they help migrate the Lings, Marines do a lot of damage against them. This is just a solid mix of a little bit of everything. You know, this army can take on and kill a lot of stuff, but we can see here, I'm running a lot of Lings up into the space, and I figure even though it's a planetary fortress, these are Lings with a crack upgrade, and they do a lot of damage to buildings. And right here, if we check this out, one thing that's going to happen, these SCVs, even if they decide to start repairing it, the Lings are going to attack the SCVs, and he's going to lose a lot of SCVs in this. And we check this out, this army is just so slow, he has no hope of running it, and I don't know why he isn't stimming. You could have been here already. And I think he decides that his planetary fortress is going to live, but it doesn't. It dies. I have no clue why he didn't stim and save all of those units, and that is going to be just an absolute tremendous win for me. No mining for you whatsoever. We check out the income right now, 43 over 65, 4 harvesters. Workers lost right now. I actually only killed 10 workers during that, but losing a planetary fortress is never a good feeling, and that's like, he's like, fuck that, dude. I'm moving out, and my Broodlords are not quite done yet. He actually did have a scan that went down, and right here, we check this out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start dropping a lot of fungals. If we look at this, because he's stimmed and because of the fungal, his army is already in the yellow, and I have so many infestors that I want to try to fungal him in the open. I do not want to engage right here in this open. I have not destroyed the destructible debris, which is not a good thing. If we check this out, I'm just going to continue to fungal everything. These medevacs are going to have to waste all their energy on all these units. These Zerglings are running out with Banelings, getting in there, doing some damage, killing a lot of troops, actually, and just continuing to drop more and more fungals. Everywhere we need fungals, infested Terran, and we can see I'm just biding time for my Broodlords. Infested Terran are free units, and right now I'm sending in my troops. These infestors, oh, you shouldn't be in there. More fungal growths coming down. That's actually going to take out a lot of these medevacs. You know, a lot of corruptors in the air. Medevacs, you don't know what the hell's going on. These Thors, they can shoot at these guys all day long, but their missiles just not that effective. And these Broodlords just kind of being the hero right here. The Marines can't do anything about it, and all he can really do at this point is hope to disengage and save whatever part of his army he has left. We see here I am reinforcing with so many Zerglings. My 3-3 is almost complete, and the one thing that I need to do is I need to run these troops down. I cannot afford to let him run away with these units. These Zerglings just picking away, you know, being Zerglings, doing whatever it is that Zerglings do. And here we go. So many... Where's the 3-3? Come on, come on. Not quite yet. And getting just a massive surround those Thors, not even knowing what's hitting them. The Marines getting some kills, and they're all going to be wiped out. That medevac can't do anything, and you're going to fly away. You're going to be the only one that lives to tell that tale. Aside from this tank is like, fuck you. Come and get me. Fucking come and get me. That's the attitude of the tank. My 4th base up and running. I will be taking a 5th base very, very soon, hopefully down here. And you know what? I really should expand down here at this point. I've defeated his army. I know that I dropped this planetary fortress. His mining cannot be good. And we can see here I'm going to get another awesome Ling run-by on these planetaries. And we check this out. He just has no troops. He has no army whatsoever to challenge me at this point. And that planetary is going to go down, and almost all these SCVs are going to die. There's really nothing that he can do to save these guys. They're just so vulnerable to cracklings. It's not even funny. We can see that I actually have these guys set on an auto-attack path. They're just on a wave of destruction, killing everything all around the map. And I actually have another group of Zerglings over here. That tank is like, fuck. I think he got off one shot. He didn't kill a single Zergling there. Maybe that one. It's gross. And all these Lings coming in here, and there's just nothing he's going to be able to do about this. I mean, there's too many Zerglings coming in. He's going to lose another planetary. He's you know, not even mined out there. He has minerals that he's left back here. This is just ridiculous. And again, not enough SCVs. Planetary Fortress, even though it has 3 armor, man, these Zerglings just killing everything. He has a lot of Vikings out on the field, and he has some Marines and a few Thors, but we take a look at the supply count. He's 100 supply behind me. His upgrades are just not where they need to be. There's just so little he can do, and he's not even taking the time to kill these Zerglings that are killing these units. At this point, he must not feel that it's worth it, and he's probably frustrated, you know, that he's lost to what's essentially been Zerglings and now Broodlords, and at this point, I have commanding map control, I have a commanding economic lead. We can see that I'm getting more Corruptors, transitioning almost straight into dominant Air Zerg. I wish that we had some cool names. Like, you know, Air Terran sounds kind of cool, but Air Zerg just doesn't sound neat at all. Now, what I do like is that he has Ravens, but he does not have the Seeker Missile upgrade. Seeker Missile with Ravens is really the best answer to this. You get 3 or 4 Ravens and Seeker Missiles in here, and your Broodlords are like, fuck that, guys. And they die. They just simply die. These Zerglings, every single one of them, a hero just getting kills. You know, for a Zergling to live long enough to get a couple kills actually makes them feel pretty awesome. These guys are just going to chill out over here in the corner. This army is going to march out one last desperate attempt. 93 supply to 200, 200. These Zerglings coming in, and they're going to be like, you know what, fuck you. We're going to kill everybody. And it doesn't matter if you have Medivacs, there's Fungal Growths, there's Infested Terran, there's Corruptors on the field. Your Vikings, nah, you don't stand a chance. We have so many Corruptors all up in your spot. There's Broodlords. Thors are like, wow, this sucks. And we're cleaning up the map, and BackToChar has left the game. So, as far as this goes, BackToChar is probably not one of the more skilled players that I've played, but I did feel good about this victory because I feel like, in general, I played a good game. I had good creep spread. Let's see here, we check out the APM. 71, that's about average for me, you know, that's not very good. We can actually see that Char got lazy. He probably has a very good early battle game plan, but just didn't know how to transition out into a mid game, and maybe it's because he's relied on, you know, some cheese strategies like this, and maybe just isn't quite up to date with the current metagame, although I really did like to see that Raven. Let me know what you guys think of this game, and I hope you enjoyed. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.